episode of tractors and such. So, this is a different video than what I normally do. We're not going to be working on anything, except we're doing a road trip. We are currently 35 hours away from our destination. We're leaving here in Kentucky. We're going to Seattle, Washington to get on a cruise boat to go to Alaska. And I've always been wanting to go to Alaska. And I've had the opportunity to go. So, we are currently about 75 miles away from our interstate. Then we're going to stop at Buc-ee's in Smith's Grove. And then we'll be heading on from there. Alrighty, first gas stop, Buc-ee's, here in Smith Grove, Kentucky. I gotta get me a sandwich, I'm hungry. Now we're crossing the bridge to Indiana. Putting the seed in. Alright, we made it to Illinois. Just now past the state line. Sweet old Camaro. Alright, we're approaching St. Louis, Missouri. There's the arch. We're about 200 miles away from our hotel. So, I'll bring the camera back when we get to a hotel.
70 west for Topeka. Continue straight for 14 minutes to I-70 west Kansas Turnpike Toll Road.
Yeah, we arrived at the Best Western. Tired. Alright, it's the next morning in Junction City, Kansas. We're going to try and head over to Colorado today. Probably somewhere around Denver. Back roads of Kansas. Mushroom Rock in Kansas. Alrighty, we made it to Colorado. Can't go on a trip without looking at an old tractor. This is an old Fordson. That's got the buzz coils on it.
Yeah. What's that?
That's your pickup for your buzz coils. I don't know much about these on how they fire, but I do know they just sound cool. Here's another one. This one's got a magneto on it.
So it's updated from the buzz coil.
Oh yeah, that's the updated one. I don't know if that's original or not, but I just know it's updated from the buzz coils.
Oh, look at there, it's the steam.
Yeah. Alright, we made it to another hotel in Denver, Colorado.
Morning. The next morning. There's a little balcony. We're getting ready to go and load up the truck.
Well, we got a low tire, so we're going to limp it to the nearest Walmart. So here's the Walmart. They did a good job. Alright, tire's fixed. Had 2 nails in it. Probably got them when back in Kentucky. Yay, Buc-ee's, Jonestown, Colorado. Buc-ee's.
In rain.
Yeah, it's raining.
Snow on the mountain.
And traffic. right, Salt Lake City. I'm on the phone with my grandparents. We'll meet them up there at the cruise boat. It's past the Idaho state line. Alright, we're at another hotel. Well, it's the next morning here in Twin Falls, Idaho. We're going to get to Seattle, Washington tonight. Then tomorrow we'll be getting on the cruise boat. We just crossed the Pacific time zone. We're at the Oregon Trail in Oregon.
Check that man's pathway and cheese balls. Oh, wow.
Great. Doing Dead Man's Pass. We are now in Washington. I believe this is the Cascade Mountains. Alright, we made it to another hotel. We're in Seattle, Washington now. Well, it's next morning. Now we're heading to the port to get on the cruise boat. Well, folks, I hate to end the video right there, but the next video will be when we're on the cruise boat through our whole trip. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you all for watching this video of treasures and such. Please consider to like and subscribe, and I'll go with Paul with the devotion.
Today's devotion is Genesis chapter 22, beginning at verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here am I. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and gave this the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went into the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place there afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called upon him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place Jehoiada, as it is said, to this day, In the mountain of the Lord it shall be seen. Thank you for watching Cade's video today. See you on the next posting.